Thanks for inviting us here, Ben.
Thanks for coming.
It's an awesome place. We are at the awesome McLaren Technology Centre. We've been invited here by McLaren. Thank you so much once again. I've been grovelling all day. And we're here to see some of the classic cars that we're going to be bringing into rFactor 2.
I think we at McLaren have a really good relationship with Studio 397 and the rFactor 2 team. McLaren tries to keep an open, transparent relationship with all their gaming partners, but none is more transparent and friendly and open. There's no idea too daft. We talk freely about ideas we want to play around with, so I think we have a really good working relationship.
Our relationship with McLaren is as strong as ever. We supported McLaren last year with the 650S GT3, and we look to do the same this year with some of the kind of heritage McLarens and create something special and quite individual again.
We think the 650S GT3 was a really good start, and as Dom was alluding to earlier, it was the first piece of sort of downloadable content that came from McLaren and within the game as well. I think it was a good start for us. It's a good car from our heritage. I've driven it very briefly in VR, but I wouldn't call that driving it compared to what I watched when I experienced the guys racing it in the rFactor 2 qualifiers for World's Fastest Game last year.
And obviously Rudy.
Last year I was sitting at a desk as a sales manager, and now I'm official McLaren F1 simulator test driver.
Yeah, he was able to be consistent across the human performance stuff. He was quick on the simulators, and in the racing we did, a lot of which was on rFactor 2, you know, he was pretty consistent there as well, so he was the standout choice. And yeah, I think Rudy's year's been one of multiple highs, and you know, getting in the simulator early with the team was important, and he was quick and consistent.
So Rudy winning the rFactor 2 rounds, then going on to win the actual world's fastest game was great for us. I think the best thing that it demonstrated was that the skills are really transferable, that Rudy went in, yes, he had a bit of a background in motorsports, but still he was one of the top guys for many years, and he literally went in and managed to deliver not just on sim racing front, but you've now seen him compete in, or at least take part in things like at Rock in Riyadh and going up the hill. It just goes to show that sim racing is legitimised by this path that McLaren are taking, and long may it continue. So I think that's nice because he drove the M23, and that's one of the cars that we're bringing in. Such an iconic car, but we're also bringing in two other cars, and for me they are also iconic. Amongst all the other iconic McLarens, these in particular are iconic. So obviously the MP48 was driven by Senna at Donington in that famous race, and then the MP413, which is right here, Mika's first championship. He won it with this car. I mean, what a piece of history right here.
Yeah, we were listening to the mechanics before we started filming, telling us stories about that car, which we can't tell on film, but we're lucky enough to be able to go and listen to those guys talk and walk past these things every day. You know, it is literally like being in the Museum of Titans, frankly.
Yeah.
rFactor 2 is commonplace around McLaren towers, if you will. We use rFactor 2 to power some of our simulators. For some of our half sims we use at events. We place it at the very top of racing simulators because it's giving people the ultimate experience of sim racing. And that's why we're pleased to make sure that McLaren vehicles, via either racing or automotive, are able to be enjoyed by those audiences.
Not a lot of people know that licensing's a key part of getting cars into any kind of racing title, and certainly McLaren have been very good with us and have helped us along that journey. And not only that, they've helped us immensely with getting the cars into the game, getting data, having access to the cars is one of the reasons why we're here today.
Actually, it's a bit of an adventure making them become reality, be it using the CAD data, getting the telemetry off the car, any information. You know, Dom and the team have been lucky enough to be given documentation to help with these car builds. And, you know, they've not seen the light of day for a while, some of them. So it's really refreshing to sort of capture that bit of history. And hopefully that unique take on the car's driving experience will make its way into the game. How important is it for us to have versions of our cars in high-end sim racing titles? I think it's imperative. You know, we are McLaren, we try and make excellence in terms of our cars across the board. to give any audience, gaming or otherwise, the opportunity to experience the thrill of those cars is unique. So, you know, the fact that there are titles that can get as close to real life as rFactor 2 can should make people enjoy that moment massively.
We're really excited to be working with McLaren again on their next foray into esports, the Shadow project. We think it's going to be another kind of landmark project in terms of esports, and we're really pleased that sim racing, and especially rFactor 2, has a voice in that, and especially bringing in some of these amazing heritage cars.
Esports is important in the motorsport landscape at McLaren, and has been, you know, it's now entering arguably its third year of importance. You know, when you think about planning and coming through to execution, be it World's Fastest Gamer and now into McLaren Shadow project. You know, Zach has gone on the record that he sees esports as the next frontier of recruitment into motorsport, and that there's talent out there that's lost through karting due to cost, etc., etc. So we're not going to divert from that path anytime soon. We're investing in the space, our partners are investing in the space. You can see that with the programme for this year, looking bigger and broader and more global and more diverse than last year. So that will continue in 2018 and beyond. And I think you can see with other projects that are going on in the space, that motorsport is taking esports seriously because it's a way of engaging the audience, broadening the audience, and keeping that audience happy more than anything else, giving them another way to embrace their love of motorsport. And you should only see that from any of the championships over the last 6 to 9 months, that content is dynamic and exciting as anything on the actual real track.
So why was it important for us to choose heritage cars over maybe some of the newer cars? These cars are so iconic, and I am really excited that we're going to be showcasing a really high level of racing esports using heritage cars. I can't wait to see this MP413 raced at speed rather than taken to a track and driven by a gentleman driver at half the pace it could do. This is going to be the first time in years that this car and some of the other heritage cars are actively used for competition.
As you say, rFactor is that sort of peak simulator level, and we want to be able to deliver McLarens into that space. So we're just keen to make sure that we keep doing that with different vehicles, and you know, we've got these 3 for this year, and let's see where we go from there.